we briefly mentioned the Scottish-based Leadership Council, the SSLC, and you mentioned that Aerospace for All, the podcast, is you've parked it a little bit for now, and that idea is now developed into something new.
Yeah. I guess I'll explain this. So the Scottish Space Leadership Council has been set up for a couple of years, and it's obviously based up in Scotland. It's basically bringing together a load of the industry from Scotland and representing it to the government and to big players like the UK Space Agency and that sort of thing. So you've got all this SME landscape in Scotland of loads and loads of smaller companies who don't necessarily have the strength to actually play for themselves when it comes to like talking to the big players. So the SSLC is kind of representing all of these smaller companies, basically as a big council with a couple of people from a lot of these different companies. And then whenever there's something that they kind of need to work on, they'll all kind of sort of just team up and do that. So one of the big things is the UK Spaceport Alliance, which was set up towards the end of last year. That's actually part of the Scottish Space Leadership Council. So they've set up the UK Spaceport Alliance, which is obviously quite a big thing. But amongst a few other working groups, something that they really wanted to work on was the innovation and the diversity in the UK space sector. So there was a new working group set up, which is what Emma and I are part of, which we'll talk about in a couple of minutes. And that's kind of where we're working and trying to make our bit of difference.
That's great. I think what SSLC are doing is amazing, and it just sits so well with what we believe here at Space Store, is that it's trying to improve the diversity within space, and not only trying to improve it, it's just trying to tell people that, look, there are careers in the space industry, regardless of what your background is, regardless of whether, as me and Emma were speaking about this offline earlier, that you don't have to just be an engineer to be part of the space industry. You can have interest in law. You can have interest in project management. You can have any interest, different subjects. Doesn't matter. You can still be part of the space industry. So I think what the Scottish Space Leadership Council are doing is actually amazing. So it's great that Aerospace for All is kind of heading into that direction now. And one thing that I was just thinking of is, if you hadn't started Aerospace for All and made that first kind of went past that first hurdle of doing something, it would never have become this now.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Emma, do you want to talk about that?
No, I mean it is crazy. I look back and to think I was hesitant about joining up with Jamie. It seems so silly now, because all these opportunities, like speaking tonight, which is amazing. Yeah. Thank you again, by the way. They wouldn't have happened if I hadn't joined up with Aerospace for All. So, you're right there.
Yeah, and it gave us a load of other skills as well, in terms of we incorporated Aerospace for All because there was a time where we were like, we're gonna make this into a proper business where it's actually going to generate some sort of revenue, because obviously we were putting quite a lot of time into it, and we both had part-time jobs, and we were both students. So we were like, we're putting so much time into this, we might as well see if we can make it generate some revenue. In the end, we did loads of things to try and make that happen, and it didn't work. So we decided that we're going to kind of stop that, but we incorporated it. We had to go through that whole process. We learned how to do all of that. We learned sort of communication and delegation skills. There's a lot of skills that we're gonna find useful going into the future.
Definitely.
Anybody can start something up like that. Like, you don't need anything to begin and start it. Everything is free now because you can just do it online. So there's no reason for anybody not to.
You said.
Oh, sorry. Forgive me. You go.
Go on, Emma.
No. Everything is free. Jamie's right. I mean, you talk about recording on your phone, Jamie, with the podcast at the beginning. You didn't have to buy a mic. Anyone can do anything as long as they have access to the internet and some decent skills talking to people. It's so easy to get going these days, and there's no reason not to.